Hello YouTube, hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I have a lot of updates to give you guys because we did just finish the month of June. We were paid on Friday, which was June 21st, and I already spent all of that money plus more, so I'm just gonna get right into the video and let you guys know what happened, as well as my plans for setting up July and finishing out the second half of this year. So if you are into that, please leave a like and be sure to leave a comment below, and I will get right into the video now. Okay, so first things first, pay off student loan. I can check this goal off. I basically forced this goal to be a success because, as you know from my last video, I was just feeling kind of, not necessarily discouraged, but just annoyed at the stagnancy of my loan progress. So I did force this to take place, and because of that I went over my budget by like 116%. So just so you guys know, that is what's going on with that, and I will get into more detail later on in this video on that. My student loan is completely paid off. It is completely gone, and we're moving on now to paying off my husband's student loan. So that is where we're at. 2 out of the 4 goals have been achieved. For our bills, we're in the month of June. So for electric, I paid $60. For Netflix, we paid $25.91. For the gym, I paid $220.20. For grocery, I paid $100 more for a total of $229 for the month of June. For my blog, I paid $3.88. And for my student loan, I paid $3,896. So that is where all my spending went, really. Did I go over budget and discretionary? Yes, but most of it went towards paying off debt, and for that I am okay with it. So 6, I believe it was like the 12th, 24, I paid $3,800, I think it was $96. And so now I have a 0 balance. I got the cool message that said paid in full, so that is amazing. Also on the 7th, I did give my husband $1,000. I haven't done anything since then. I did not put anything towards savings, and I sold the majority of my individual brokerage in order to pay off my debt. So that's basically where that money came from. I sold $52, sorry, which is, what is that? Let's see, 2052, or 2700 minus 2052. So that's 648, and then I put another 500 in there. So I did put 500 in. I took away 2042. So right now we are at 1148 total in my individual brokerage, and I'm looking forward to this going up now that I don't have to sell it anymore. Well, we'll see, because I told you guys I get that itch, and that's what happened. I also took out some of my emergency fund, the excess that I was putting towards my Roth IRA. I took out the excess, so I took out $1,500 of that, I believe. So now I'm at $20,000 and like 69 cents or something, because I took out $1,500 of that, and that was for the debt as well. So we are at 20,000 still, which is great. Okay, no beans. I think this is actually not relevant anymore, actually, because I took out 1,500. So that's 5, 10, 15. We can cross these out, because we are not at 21,500 anymore. So that is where we are with the housekeeping portion of this video. A lot has changed, and now I will get into the numbers to show you the damage that I did in the month of June. Starting with our goals. How many goals did I make? I made 1 goal. I got 1 Amazon commission. I did not save $1,000. I saved 500, and I did not have 15 no spend days. I spent like a madman. So there's that. My goals have been kind of iffy lately, which is why I've been making them sort of the autopilot type of goals. Hopefully next month and in the months to come, we can stick to our goals. But this month and last month have been kind of emotional spend months, and I don't feel as bad about it in June as I did in May, so that's a good thing. But in terms of progress, this month was a little bit worse and you'll see why soon. So moving on to the monthly budget and our spending. Okay, so to start, I got paid twice this month from good old W-2 for a total of $4,893.11. I did put $500 towards my brokerage. And this is how things went. So for my living, I paid prorated rent this month, which helped me a little bit. So it was only $600 instead of $13. Electric was a little bit higher at $60 because of some cancellation fees at the last place and some startup fees at this new place. So that was $60. And then for Orca, I didn't pay anything because we walked like crazy because it's getting warm in Seattle. And then for grocery, I paid $229 for a total of $889 in the living category. And then for self-care, I paid $78.87 on some hair care products as well as a new face wash. I canceled my facial because remember at the last video, I was like, I don't know if I have a facial planned. I didn't want to spend $190 this month. I couldn't because of the move. So I took that out. But I did buy some new face wash as well as some hair care. And my blogging came in at $3.88 and my gym came in at $220.20. And so that brought me up to $302.95. Discretionary, I overspent as usual by a few hundred, like maybe $362. I budgeted $500 and spent $862. June in Seattle is a spendy month just because it is Pride Month and there's a lot of things happening. And I spent a lot of money just between going to festivals and like eating out and just having fun in the sun. So it was kind of expected. I probably should have budgeted for more than 500. But I'm okay with this number. For entertainment, we have Netflix. I budgeted $30. We paid $25.91. For pets, for grooming, it was $67.50. So this was kind of an expensive month for the dog. He needed grooming and he had his vet appointment, his yearly. My portion of that was $210 for his medications, his shots, and his checkup. But the total was $420. So we did split that cost. And that brought us to a total of $277.50 for the dog. And then for my debt, what really crushed this budget this month. So for my debt, I paid $3,896. So basically the rest of that loan. I told you guys, when I have a loan that's in striking distance and I have the money on me, I'm gonna sell things, I'm gonna move money around. I told you guys this would happen like maybe 4 videos ago, and so it did. I was looking at it, it was like 2 in the morning and I was just looking at it and it just, my hand slipped, I guess. But we have no more student loan debt for me and it feels great. I don't regret it. And I look forward to never paying Nelnet another dollar again. So $3,896 for me, $1,000 for my husband. So that's a total debt payment of $4,896. As you guys can see, I made $4,893. So that's why I took money out of savings and investments, because obviously that's more than I make. And this is why we need to pay down our debt, because this is a shackle that I just didn't want to live with for the rest of my life. And this is a one-time thing. I'm not going to do this again. I don't have to, because everything's paid in full and it feels amazing. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you would have seen more detail on the whole debt payoff thing. You should definitely go follow me at Budget Based Life on Instagram if you want to get into more details about that. But yeah, we are student loan debt free, and now we are working on my husband's, and we're so close. And I will keep you guys updated on that as we go. So for my total budgeted expenses, it was $4,475.50. And my total spending was $7,253.64, with a difference of, we spent $2,778.44 over our budget because of my spending plus the extra student loan payment. So moving on to the day-to-day spend, this was all unnecessary, but it made me feel good. So that's where we're at. So yeah, a few credit card payments, some fast food. We bought a bed frame because of our move. Bought some household items because of our move. Went to a cafe a few times, drank a lot of boba, bought tea, went to a few Pride Fests, celebrated the solstice this past weekend, had pho, bought some hot sauce, like just a lot of just BS that I was buying and that I'm probably gonna do again in July, honestly, because the summertime, I mean, the sun is out and you guys know how Seattleites get when the sun is out. So this page added up to $823.39. And then there were only two other payments, and that was for some ice cream and some houseplants that we literally bought today. So my total spending is $862.28, which you guys saw on the budget part of this book here, $862.28. So that played a part in why my total actual expenses was almost literally 10 grand. But nowhere near as crazy as the fact that I paid more towards debt than I make in a month. So that is just, you know, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. Because I overspent so much on debt, I couldn't even fit everything into this pie chart. My spending was 116.52% over my budget. So I definitely busted it. This is, I think, probably the craziest difference, the craziest negative that I've ever seen on this channel. But that is what debt will do to you guys. Like, it'll grow. So you got to do what you got to do. My debt payment was 78.65% of my monetary existence this month. So 78%, almost 80% of all the money that I had went to debt this month. And honestly, I'm willing to have a number that big one time. I don't want to have a whole bunch of 45% in multiple months. I'd rather just have one big 80%. And so hopefully I won't bite myself for this later, but here we are, 78%. Lastly, the goals, the reflections. How did we do in June? What do we feel about June? Did I achieve this month's goal? And if not, why? I achieved one. I got one commission from Amazon. Like I said, the economy is a little crazy, so we're not expecting people to buy things from Amazon that they don't need, which is why I only really push this budget book and a few budget materials, because I want you guys to budget with me if you don't have the materials. But obviously, if you can't afford to get this budget book, because I do believe it ranges between like in the teens to like maybe high 30s, like $37 or so. If you can't afford to get this, get a piece of paper, get a notebook, a random notebook, and just write down what you have to do. But regarding our goals, we did get one Amazon commission, one more budgeter added to the list. So thank you for that. And follow along if you do get these budgeting books or if you don't have one, because we're staying on track. We're halfway through the year and a lot of people fall off at this point, but this is the point where we need to like reprioritize, we need to regroup, and we need to finish the year out strong. Summer is a tricky time because it's spendy and it's nice out and you want to have fun, you want to like do things on the water and stuff like that. That's all the more important to keep a budget and just track what you're doing. Just track what you're doing, because you can see the trends. You can see what months are your trouble months, what months are your comfort months. It's just, it'll do you some good. So where did I have the most trouble? Obviously with no spend, but I embraced it this month. It was completely in my control and I chose to spend what I did. And after seeing 4,000 some change, almost 5 grand in debt payments, 800 in discretionary, 300 more in discretionary is not a big deal to me. What did I learn this month by tracking my expenses? I learned what debt freedom tastes like. Obviously it doesn't completely count because I'm married, right? So because I'm married, I do have debt incurred that my husband also has. But I still feel like I am debt free because, I mean, he doesn't really put his debt onto me. I just want it done faster, which is why I'm helping. Let's see. what can I improve this month? Obviously spending less on miscellaneous, maybe not impulse paying off debt, but that'll obviously be an improvement in the next month because I don't have any more. Okay, so now that we're done talking about goals, we can move on to just some of our plans for July. I already have the budget written out. I'm gonna actually work harder to stay on it this time because we did meet kind of a milestone with the debt freedom thing. And I'm gonna try to focus more on getting rid of now my husband's loans, which means I'm actually gonna double my payments towards his to $2,000 so that we can get rid of that before the end of this year. And we'll keep you guys updated on what happens with that. Super excited to get rid of that, to be completely debt free. And yeah, that is basically everything for this month. We are halfway through the year and I'm super excited to see where we go for the rest of the year. So thank you guys again for following along, and leave a comment on how you guys did in the month of June. Hopefully you had a better month than I did, at least better than how I felt in the last video. And what are your plans for the rest of the year? How are you going to embrace the second half of the year? That's what I want to hear in the comments below. So please leave that down there, and I will see you in the next video.